Hola, and welcome to episode 32 of A Fern Between Us.
There's nothing like getting it together at the last minute. We are two of the four owners of Vivac Winery.
And we are coming to you from Oaxaca, Mexico. It is a long drive, fast setup. So excuse, we tried to find a good place for new Karen. It's a little weird and we don't have a sign, so luckily Jesse's wearing his Vivac shirt.
Oh, yeah.
So we're representing. We do have wine in our glass, we hope you do too. We are talking about winter wines back at home. Everybody got dumped on. A huge winter storm came through actually as we left. We left on Saturday, Sunday, just how many inches did they say?
I don't know, but they said it snowed all day for 2 days straight at least, and off and on in front and back of that. So
yeah. So we're trying to be nice and support those of you that are in snow while we're in tank tops and enjoying warm weather.
We are enjoying warm weather.
All right. Oh my gosh, this has taken us 4 days to get down to Oaxaca, Mexico. Those of you that are concerned about us traveling during a pandemic, we just want to let you guys know that everything has been super safe.
Oh, yeah.
People are wearing masks, they take your temperature and sanitize you. And I mean sanitize, they spray you down before you go into a place. It's
almost any store, it's pretty wild.
Restaurants, hotels.
Yeah.
So we feel like that's pretty awesome.
And everyone, way better than we are in the States, they're wearing their masks. I would say the social distance isn't quite as much space as we're used to in Dixon, say. So maybe we're not exactly adhering to the 2 meter deal, but everyone's wearing the mask. I mean, we feel safe, and we feel like we're, not spreading our dirty American genes on them, hopefully. Yeah.
And this was a choice that we heavily weighed. We really needed to make this choice. So anybody that is concerned about it, believe us, we did think about it, okay? Hopefully you guys can hear us too. There's a little bit of an echo. We are at our hotel, which has this beautiful inner courtyard, but it does create an echo, and
we also don't want to yell because there's other people here too, so
whatever. So we are, in fact, drinking the surprise out of the box. We brought a collection of wines. How does that work?
Vivac Merlot.
And
Merlot.
We weren't sure what we were going to reach into the box and find, but that happens to be. Oh.
Excellent choice for winter wines, is what she was just saying.
And again, this should be interesting. One of the things that a lot of people reach for is a fuller-bodied red wine, and so that's definitely what you find with the Abbot Merlot. One of the things that I love about the Abbot Merlot is that it has a little bit different flavor profile than a lot of Merlots that you're gonna find, where it's got great natural acidity, some nice spice. How would you describe it?
I really dig on the acidity in the Abbot Merlot. To me, it's got I don't know, some kind of like cocoa or coffee elements to it, but with this kind of real nice acidity that really lends to food pairing. And to me, this is one of my favorites. Anything out of the Abbot Vineyard or the 1725 Vineyard, like all the reds, I'm head over heels for them.
I like everything you make, babe.
Oh, so sweet.
But I really do think this is an excellent choice, especially in the colder months and when you're making maybe warmer kind of foods like stews and something that is a little bit heavier, so that you can feed your feelings. I don't know.
Feed your feelings. Nice.
Before we move into the questions, we're going to try to keep this episode short because again, we weren't really prepared. So the other thing I want to mention before we forget is Halloween is coming up, and Liliana has done an amazing job putting together these awesome little bags so that your kids can come in costume, trick or treat, and they don't have to put their hand in a bucket or have lots of people touching lots of stuff. So it's super safe and filled with all kinds of goodies. So stop by, have your kiddo trick or treat. If you come in costume, you get half price glasses of wine or beer. So that's also fun. And don't forget about our COVID safe mask contest. You gotta send in.
We just saw an airplane, obviously. We both looked up. Hey, there's an airplane.
A COVID safe mask contest. So no matter where you live, you can enter 2 bottles of wine for a prize. We'll send it to you. All right. This is a test.
We've never done this outside of the studio.
Yes. Testing of the Padberg broadcast. All right, we're going to jump into questions, talking about winter wines. Knowing, so there's a gamut here of things. The first question is, knowing other fruit wines don't have the depth and interest of grapes, is there a fruit wine that you enjoy?
Ooh, yes, but you'll almost never find it in and around. But to me, one of the very best fruit wines is a cherry.
Yes, choke cherry.
Choke cherry or pie cherry. Any of those, like they can really have some really interesting stuff going on in there. Plus, cherries have a lot of tannins, which help. They need less modification. They won't be nearly, decently less complex than a grape wine, but to me, cherry is where it's at. And then, of course, apple is the base for a lot of things. Apple makes a good, clean blank slate for, jug wines really. But at the same time, it mimics a clean
The structure
white
of a white wine.
Yeah.
I think also I've had the opportunity to taste a lot of fruit wines in competitions, and one that I find really interesting is when they blend a wine grape with a fruit wine. And
Yeah.
one of my favorites was a Merlot blended with some blueberry wine. And that
Ooh,
was
yeah.
actually really nice. It was dry, it was complex, it had some really beautiful complements.
Yeah.
So there are things out there.
Ooh, we had a really good sparkling. What was that? Was that an Edelberry? There was some up in Canada.
I thought that was the dandelion wine.
It wasn't dandelion, but it was like honeysuckle. They were in that family, but it was something like that. And then one last thing about it, I was going to say there was I've had a cider that had hops in it, and that was really, to me, that was really, really good, especially for you beer drinkers out there.
That's a great call. All right. The next question is, what is the most special wine you have in your personal wine cellar, and how do you decide when to open it? We actually have been having a hard time deciding, especially during COVID times when it seems like every day should be some reason to make you happy and open something special.
Right?
Be like, I had a hard day. Babe, we're going to open this.
Well, as they said in Sideways, any day you open something special is a special occasion. But,
I like
I think you do have to drink these things, so you can't just hang on to them forever. They will age out at some point. If you're prone to holding on too long, let loose a little bit. For the rest of us, hold on to some sometimes.
We have some from our trip to Central Europe that I've been holding on to that I'm looking forward to. That I always kill the name. Vilian. The woman, the owner that we sat with. Beautiful wines.
Yeah.
Well, there's one from her
Yeah.
that I'm particularly torn over whether or not I want to open it and enjoy it because I can't wait to taste it again, and also then it's gone.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, we can't help you. If you feel like the day needs some bright sunshine, open it. And if it's your anniversary or a birthday or a Tuesday,
Right?
open it.
Somebody made something nice, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, number 3, what's the best recipe for mulled spice wine? So that's a great one for winter wine questions.
You could, never mind. I was gonna say something snarky. I've never made it. I'm not particularly a fan. I don't mind it on the coldest of cold nights when you're outside and you want something steaming and alcoholic, but I'm not an expert. I defer.
I think that one of the things to start with that people are confused about is what the base wine is. I personally tend to like a dry red wine as the base. Some people like a sweeter concoction. And so if you like that, then you want to pick a sweet red wine. I just think reds are best for mulled spice. You can also buy packets of flavoring that you put it in the crock pot, you heat it on low, you add the mulled spice flavoring, slice up some oranges, put a stick of cinnamon in there. You want to be careful because it can get overly cinnamon, but that's the easiest.
I would say anything that you're gonna have like a spice cider, like any of those spices, that's what you're putting in there. And then plus orange, but that's probably, you know.
Yeah, nutmeg. If you're gonna do it just from your own recipe, I would include nutmeg, clove, but just a little bit, cinnamon.
Black Mesa down the road has had some. I've had their mulled wine.
They actually make a mulled wine that is so true, and they sell it, and it's just ready to go, and you just heat it.
So, and if you just want a recipe, maybe ask them. They'd probably tell you.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yep.
But that is always fun, especially around the holidays, or if you're doing something outside, like sledding, and you want to have a thermos of something kind of a fun treat. I like that idea. All right, the fourth one is everyone talks about red wine for winter, but I actually like whites when it's cold out. Which Vivox should I get?
I'm like you, by the way, whoever you are. It seems like winter rolls around and all of a sudden I want something white, and summer rolls around and I'm ready for red again. And
I agree with that.
It's not every year that happens to me, but often it does.
Yeah, and so the classic idea is that you curl up next to the fire and you have a big bold red. In that case, I particularly like a Chardonnay. It's a little bolder, it's creamy, but it's cold, and it still goes with a lot of those like chicken pot pie kind of what I'm imagining as a meal. And then I also just really like crisp, bright whites. The Gruner is a great example of that. That is just watching the snowfall and drinking a delicious, crisp white.
A couple years ago, we had a Chenin Blanc, and we'll probably have one time to time again. But that was great for a winter wine for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So don't feel bad. Drink what you love, and I recommend both of those wines. And rosé is a great way to kind of fit in between too. And now we have two fantastic rosés. So explore. I don't think you can go wrong with anything on our list, and I think that's a lot of fun. I'm glad that you're playing with that. Forget the rules.
Right.
And our last question for today is, I love port when it's cold, especially love yours. Thank you. But not sure what to pair it with other than a cigar. Advice?
Ooh, that's a question for you, babe.
You know how to pair things too.
I do, but you're so good at it.
So I'm gonna say this and we'll see where it goes, but I really think port is fantastic with warm nuts. And
here she goes again. Oh man!
If you can warm some nuts and put some salt on them.
No. Probably don't even have to warm them, and they're probably already salty. Is my guess.
I promise this is a really nice pairing. The other thing is it goes great with lots of cheeses, and so one of the things I love is kind of that snack by the fire, lighter fare, but you snack throughout the evening. Maybe you can get lots of cheeses lined up.
Yeah.
There's also some recipes on our website that you can look at. We're having trouble uploading more than one at a time, but I think right now there's a French toast recipe with our port. But there's also various, if you're looking at thicker, creamy soups can sometimes work.
I was gonna even say, straight up with with a lamb chop or something. Might be
Especially
really,
if you
really
did
nice.
a reduction. That'd be really good.
Yeah. So I'd say play around with it, but meat's not out of the question.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's lots to pair with it, just thinking outside of the box of, you know, what's typical.
Something spicy. Something spicy would probably be good. We're down here, maybe a mole would be actually really
That
good.
would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Like a mole sauce over chicken or something like that might be insane with that with the amante pork.
That'd be very good. Highly recommend. All right, guys, we really are trying to skedaddle. I know it's a very short one today, which is rare because usually these are way too long. Send in your questions because we are wanting to hear from you as we travel. If you've got travel questions, if you've got wine questions, we are tasting wines down here. We're going to tell you more about that. We've already had a couple fantastic ones.
So good.
There's a lot more happening down here than just the Baja region, so we've got lots to report on that. We are in the land of mezcal, so we will probably mention that in one of these shows. But next
I'm hoping to have a
week-
whole mezcal show actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we'll see how our mezcal finding goes, and then have a mezcal tasting hopefully one of these times.
That'd be very cool. Next week, we are going to have our fourth partner in crime that you haven't gotten to see on air yet, Liliana. And we are going to be just on the other side of Day of the Dead, Dia
De los Muertos.
Muertos. I'm working on it.
It's coming up. It's on November 1st, and everybody here in Oaxaca is setting up their beautiful golden red flowers. It's amazing.
And they have these huge Day of the Dead skeleton statues.
They're Catrinas.
They're doing an amazing job. I can't wait to post pictures, so make sure to follow VVOC Winery, both Facebook, Instagram, you know, you name it, and you'll get to see some of that stuff too. It's gonna be really amazing. But so we're gonna get to talk to Liliana about her amazing chocolates that she has made, which are very bone hand and these beautiful Katrinas with the hats, and she just does an amazing job. So we're gonna talk to her about that.
Yeah.
We're in the land of chocolate, so it makes sense, and about her growing up in Mexico and what her traditions were. So that's gonna be a really, really good show. So write in what you wanna ask her.
Also, a little point of interest, I heard that Halloween is the most celebrated holiday in the U.S. Who knew?
Oh,
Yep.
well, it's my favorite. I love it.
I know, it is nice. I
gonna
like
miss dressing
Thanksgiving,
up.
and we're gonna miss that. I like Christmas, we're gonna miss that. I like, what's your holiday?
Halloween.
The one with the 8 crazy nights.
Sounds fairly anti-Semitic there.
No,
Hanukkah?
Hanukkah, that's the
Yeah.
one. I couldn't think of the word for some reason. I like all those a lot, but Halloween's up there for sure.
Aye. All right, guys. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure to keep sending questions. We're gonna try to figure out our shtick so that this is a little better. Thank
See you later, guys. Cheers.